Okay, I want to do a quick update here. We're into the last few days of April here. We basically, the vintage air system is in. The only thing left to do at this point is have the lines and wiring harness connected once the car is put back together completely, and possibly more likely after it's painted. This car will be going to a shop to get these lines crimped to correct length, so I'm not going to cut anything on these. Just going to tie them up and hang them. The car is ready for the glass now. I've got all the dash stuff working. The LED lights is in the dash here. I wanted to briefly show. It's pretty bright in here, and you can see those are glowing pretty good. So green LED. 70 had a green. Nothing quite like that. Anyway, the next step is weld. Again, we were working inside out now, so we shouldn't be sitting on the floors anymore. We can weld the seat brackets in the floor probably tomorrow. The steering column is in. Everything's hooked up. Shifter is in. Dash is in. Only other thing to do in the dash in the future will be put the radio in and the speakers. I may not even be doing that part of it. We may have to replace the windshield wiper motor. All I hear is a click up here. Again, that's the original. I just cleaned it up, so really didn't know anything about it. Was able to mount the doors on the car today. We got the doors hanging and adjusted. We have the door glass put back in and 90% adjusted, because you won't know entirely till the weather stripping's on what you need to do with that. This side the same way, doors on, glasses in. The quarter glasses are still in. We may have to replace these eventually. I'm going to clean them up real good and see. Okay, so what's going to happen here in the next few weeks is going to be getting down to the nitty-gritty of things. Once Cowboy, Mr. Windshield, comes and puts the new front windshield in and the original back glass, it actually cleaned up pretty nice. And with the clips, urethane, foam dam kit, all that stuff, you always want to use a foam dam kit, not just urethane. That's the way the factory did it. He puts it in the way the factory. Never use butyl rubber on anything. It's not legal, it's not safe. Was never used in any GM car. The glass in a Chevrolet is actually part of the factory roll cage. Strengthens things up. Otherwise, butyl rubber, the glass will fly out, in a wreck. The condenser here is mounted. Lines run through. So basically what I wanted to mention, once the glass is in, and that's going to protect water from getting in the dash area and stuff, I'm going to 600 the doors, the body, work on 600 in the fenders. Once they're mounted, lined up, bolted down, the trunk lid is going to be scuffed and primed, blocked. The back of it's going to be painted blue. The hood still has to be a little bit of finesse work on the hood. It needs to be high build on the outside, blocked. The hood will be the last thing to go on the car. The fenders very well will probably be mounted back and lined up and on the car at the end of the week. Again, then the final blocking can start. Any imperfections we find we'll address. It's looking like definitely this car will be getting painted in the month of May. My goal is to have my part of the restoration done by June, so sometime in June. So that's where we're at. We also have to splatter paint the trunk, but I'm not going to do that until after the water is not going to be in here anymore, because that splatter paint is not waterproof. Even with a clear coat on top of it, I don't feel comfortable about getting it waterproof. The cat says he agrees with me. So anyway, it's been a long project so far, but I feel like we've done well. I bought this car in September of 2018. Tim bought it about 3 weeks after I bought it for me. So I feel like our progress has been very good. I didn't get started on my leg of the project of the body and paint work until well into February. So here we are, 2.5 months into the ordeal here, and we already have paint on some parts of the body, and it's going back together, and it's a running, driving car. This is what happens when you work on one at a time and don't try to be a hero and try to do more than you can do. That's why it takes 5 years to restore cars sometimes. It shouldn't take that long. Realistically, it should only take about 6 months. This is for everything, and that's what we're on track to do. This is painted black to match the interior. I just used a spray can satin black for that. Nothing wrong with spray painting that. Just, you know, easy to touch up if necessary. So, with that being said, like, share, comment, check out some of my other videos of this progress of this car. Starting to get interest in here. Probably in the next several videos, we'll be getting close to talking about paint. Stay tuned.